like he walked back. Slowing his back down. See that?
Anybody else up there with it?
No, just him.
Forward's up now.
He's just standing up there. I don't know why. Yeah, he's got his full marine dress uniform on too. What? I don't know, my camera just stopped. I'm very worried.
Good afternoon. This is James Preston Allen reporting from the foot of the Vincent Thomas Bridge, and I'm here with um, Brian Thomas, who has spent the last day and a half on the west tower of the Vincent Thomas Bridge to make a point about his problems with the U.S. Marine Corps and uh, Veterans Affairs.
Not so much them, but just general, yeah.
So tell us your fascination for the bridge, because this is the third time you've climbed up there to make your point.
Correct. Well, after being found guilty of something I didn't do in the Marine Corps, and all the things associated with that, after I got out the service, I then went to two congressmen, Congressman Ray LaHood out of Peoria and Congressman Bob Michael out of Peoria, explained to them in depth my situation. Uh, they understood, nothing came of it. So
How long ago was this?
that was in the early 90s. And in 2007, when I made it out here to LA, I took the manifest that I wrote back when I was 19, when all this happened now, so I have all the dates, details, and everything together. I transformed that into a letter to the president. Then president was George W. Bush, October 7th of 2007. Well, I received a letter back from someone writing on his behalf in January of 2008 with the same results. Thank you for your service, blah, blah, blah. But nothing to address the issues in the 4-page letter that I sent. So in May of 2008, I flew from Los Angeles out to Hartford, Connecticut to visit with some of my family there for that Memorial Day weekend. And then I took the Amtrak business class down to Washington, D.C. And I came there and I went to the Senate office building where I spoke with Barbara Boxer out of California, Jim Webb out of Virginia, and since I was a citizen of Illinois, I spoke with the two senators from there. One was Dick Durbin and the other one was Barack Obama.
And none of these people, during the course of this, it's almost 40 years now, right?
Correct.
None of these elected officials were able to help you resolve your dispute over an incident that you say was
A railroad,
a railroad.
basically. No. Well, they were able to, I'm sure, with the positions of power that they held, but I guess I was too small of a person or whatever for them to give it any consideration. So after that, fast forward from 2008 to 2017. At that time, I was staying here in San Pedro, right up on 11th and Alma. And I went across that bridge all those years many, many times. And I got to thinking, the reason why no one's doing anything about my situation isn't because they don't understand. It's because not enough people is hearing about it. So it came to my thoughts as I was observing and thinking, everything came together. I said, if someone were to get on the foot of that bridge right there where it comes down at, that's only a 6-foot fence. I can climb a 6-foot fence. And then that cable, it looks small from a distance, but it's actually about 4 feet around with guide cables on either side of it. So it's like an inverted footbridge. So that morning I said, why not? So I put that plan into action. Got there got up to the top about 6:45, 6:45, something like that. And I stayed there several hours. People made promises and promises, which I've been hearing for 40 years, but I said, why not hear some more? So I came down. A year later, nothing had transpired, so November of 2018, I said, let's do it again. And this time I wore my dress blue uniform up. And at the same time, I went Facebook Live. And well, I came down again after that with promises and nothing happened. That was 3 years ago. And then during all this time, I'm getting older. The problem is with me every day for 40 years. Every day. You know, some days was worse than others, but I done been to a psychologist, psychiatrist. Everybody says, you're not crazy. Well, I know I'm not, but will somebody do something about this? I'm tired of saying the story and having people enjoy hearing a story, but nothing come of it. So,
So what ultimately this is your third time climbing the bridge to make this point.
correct.
What exactly are you asking the authorities to do to help you?
Very, very simple. I want vindication. I don't want a pardon, because a pardon denotes that you are being forgiven of something you did wrong. I want vindication. I want my military record clean, and I would like to have my civilian record, even though there's nothing bad in there, speeding, this. I want that clean, because I joined the military twice to defend this country and the Constitution thereof with my life, and I had no problems with that. The one thing they didn't train me for was being stabbed in my back by my own branch of service. You know, here's what happened with that. Uh, One day, I was in training for electrical equipment repairman.
Where were you stationed?
Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. This happened at Courthouse Bay. I was part of Utilities Instruction Company.
In what year?
This was 1981, January of 81 through May of 81. And I was in a room with three other Marines. And everything was cool and everything. And about a week later, one of the Marines in the room, PFC Copeland, was missing his watch, couldn't find his watch. So we all searched and looked around for his watch, couldn't find it. Well, it was a mystery. Finally, I had a little desk thing that comes in and out the locker. I moved my towel, and there was his watch. I said, is this your watch? He said, yeah. Gave me a little sideways look. Here's your watch. A week later, all of us were summoned out of our classrooms because we were all studying to be electricians. Went to the first sergeant's office, and he said, we'd like to search your rooms for marijuana and or stolen property. Cool, let's go. So we got there, we all stood in front of our individual lockers at position of attention. They searched each locker. They found a wine bottle with a little bit of wine in somebody else's locker, but that was it. Then they searched the secretaries. Secretaries are these big desks that have that you put your pictures on and little knickknacks or whatever. Me being the fourth man in the room, I didn't have a secretary, so I figured it was over for me. They searched the first one closest to the door, nothing. They searched the one in the middle, nothing. The one over here, my peripheral, my eye, I believe I see Staff Sergeant Croyson kind of like slip something in it, but I can't be 100% sure of that. Just all I know is that when he stood up, oh, what do we have here? And he had 2 marijuana pipes in his hand. And that belonged to Copeland. That was PFC Copeland's secretary. He then announced, well, that's my secretary, but Private Thomas used that drawer where you found that stuff at. My next response was immediately to leap on him. I did in front of the first sergeant and everybody. Because you just told a bold-faced lie on me, and my honor is something, and now you're trying to throw this up. Anyway, they broke us up. I immediately went to the company gunnery sergeant and said, you got to get me out that room, because there's going to be no peace in there with me and that man. So they moved me out of there. A week after that, I get summoned to the first sergeant's office, and he started reading me my rights. I broke the position of attention. I said, wait a minute, what you doing? What's going on here? The investigation conducted by Staff Sergeant Croyson shows you, and only you, to be guilty of possession of these items. Now, then he asked me, will you accept office hours, company-level office hours, which is like traffic court. You get 7 days extra duty, maximum punishment, 7 days restriction of barracks, and that's it. I said, no, I won't, because I didn't want it on my service record for something especially I didn't do. So then they ran it up to battalion level, where you had to put on your dress greens. And there's a bunch of other officers around you in front of the battalion CO. And he read the same charges, and he said, will you accept battalion level office hours, which is basically double what it was at company level. I said no. Now at that point, they could have either just dropped the charges or took it to a special courts martial. But what they did, they gave me a document asking me basically, do you want trial by special court martial? I was 18. I had a clean service record. By the way, I joined the Army prior to that. I was already a soldier, and now I'm a Marine. I said, I don't want nothing besmirching me. And I'm a little indignant about you guys even charging me to myself. I said, yeah, I want trial by special court. Since y'all have done all this, let's go to a court-martial where you got to prove me guilty beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty, which I knew they couldn't. And they were a little surprised, and they tried to talk me out. No, you don't really want to do it. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah. Y'all know who you trained. I'm a Marine. Let's fight. Let's do it. So they started setting the trial up. They gave me an attorney, First Lieutenant Miller. And I had to miss 2 days out of my 5 days of training to go to the main side to assist in the preparation of my defense. So I only got 60% of the training, but I graduated still number 3 in the class. But anyway, one day I said to my attorney, I said, why don't you guys set me up with a lie detector test? I know it's not admissible in court, but you know, at least everybody have a general idea of what's going on. So he said, sure, let's do that. So I was given the lie detector test by Naval Investigative Services. They put the little things around my head, around my chest, around my arm, on my fingers, and they ask a lot of qualifying questions, you know, to calibrate the machine.
And did you pass?
Then they proceeded with the questioning. There's 10 questions. I passed the first time. They did it again, recalibrated, asked me the questions again. I passed. Asked me the questions again. I passed. He got on the phone, called my attorney, and said, I just concluded the examination of Private Thomas, and he passed all questions, flying colors. Inside, I was just blowing. I said, yeah. Not only did I know I'm innocent, but now you guys know it too.
So did anybody testify you in court?
When we went to court, finally got to court, about a week before a court date, all of a sudden they took away my attorney who I've been preparing my case with, First Lieutenant Miller. All of a sudden he's gone, and they give me Captain T.J. Wright. Who are you? I'm going to be your new attorney. A week before trial, and don't know, I've never even met her before. I feel, all right, well, that's what they're doing. Simultaneously, they took away the sitting trial judge and put a new trial judge up in the seat. Now I'm getting concerned. I said, well, all these changes going on.
So actually what your grievance with the military is that you want to have a reinvestigation of your case and a new hearing.
Well, no, because see, during the trial, they proved that the items had marijuana. FBI analysis contributed to the marijuana. I ain't got a problem with that. But nobody said they saw me with the items. I never admitted to having the items. They got no fingerprints of mine off the items. So
exactly. But so what you're saying is you got wrongly convicted
of course,
of something that you did not do, and the question really is what is the remedy for this at this point? And it would seem to me as though that your new lawyer needs to appeal the case.
I asked her that at the conclusion. I said, can we appeal this? And she said, no, we can't. I knew that to be wrong, so I said, can I see you in a few days? She said, sure, I'll see you in a few days. I haven't seen her to this day.
But you now have a new lawyer.
Where?
They've promised you, the police department have promised you a new lawyer,
right.
And the remedy for this is a legal remedy.
Well, to me, the best remedy would be for my commander-in-chief, with a stroke of his pen, could wipe all this out and give me the things that I'm asking for. Vindication. I mean, the trial record is still there in the military. They don't throw away anything. That trial record is there. I even have my own copy. I went through it. It's accurate. Everything in it is accurate. They didn't find anything like we already discussed. So all someone have to do is just look at that trial record, be ashamed, write things saying he's innocent and competent.
So the real question is whether or not the military would have jurisdiction to revisit the case and to look at the trial record and either give you a new hearing with a new lawyer, or for the Department of Justice perhaps to actually review the case and recommend a different outcome. But ultimately, if the president gets involved, it's a pardon.
It's an executive order. I don't want a pardon. I will not accept a pardon because a pardon denotes that you did something
Well,
wrong.
granted, but I think that
Vindication of this Marine who voluntarily dedicated his life in defense of this country and the Constitution thereof, which is why he still wears his uniform proudly today, which is why he's never said anything disparaging about America or the Marine Corps, because it wasn't the entire Marine Corps that that did that. It was individuals right there at Courthouse Bay. We was in a military courtroom with a military judge, military trial attorney, military defense attorney, military bailiff, military people
right.
watching.
So what we're actually talking about here is a miscarriage of justice.
Correct.
Inside of the military justice system, in which case the question is how to find a remedy and how to cure this. So tell me something. If this goes on for another year, are we going to find you back up on top of the Vincent Thomas Bridge again?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. It isn't because I can't do it, because I've done it 3 times, so everybody knows he's very much capable of doing it. But you know, now that it's been, I've had a chance to speak this out and people hear it. It's up to the American people now how they want to treat a 2-time veteran who, other than this miscarriage, did nothing wrong to America, dedicated his life to America. It's up to the American public how they feel that this man feel that I should be dealt with. That's how I feel. That's the reason I wanted there. I wanted everyone to see her. I'm not hiding. I didn't take no weapons up there with me. I didn't threaten nobody. I just wanted exposure to something that's been done.
And you weren't threatening to commit suicide, were you?
Of course not. That's not the Marine Corps way. Our way is death before dishonor. Endangered, damn the torpedoes, full steam ahead. When we assault a beach, they project 80 to 90% casualties, and we know this. The 8 to 9 people that storm will die in the effort, but that 10% get through, gonna cause hell up on that beach.
So, what are you going to do after this?
I don't know. It depends on how things settle out. You know.
You have an appointment with a lawyer on Tuesday, I understand.
Yeah, that's coming up, and
then you want to go back to Illinois?
well, that's a big consideration. I've been out here for 14 years. I've only been back there once, and that was back in 2011 when my grandmother passed. So, yeah, it's about time for a break. But you know.
So how do you feel that the police have treated you in this whole process?
This here, well, actually exemplary in all of it. I haven't had any mistreatment by police at all, not one little iota. But I did have a problem with the VA that second time, because when I came down that second time wearing this very uniform, the police were willing to let me go my merry way. But they did mention that, hey, this guy's from the VA affair. He says he can help you. Oh yeah, I can help you. I can help you. I can help you. I said, well, help me out. Oh, I know some people that can help you. I can help you. I can help you. So I voluntarily went with him. And when I did, we went to the Long Beach VA Center. And while there, I sat in the emergency room wearing all this. And he went somewhere to his office, I guess, whatever. And it was taking a while. And my spider sense is kind of, well, something ain't right about this. Why am I, you know? So he came in with this document. And said, oh, I need you to sign this right here. I always read stuff before I sign it. And he had written down all sorts of fantasy mess. I said, man, ain't none of this stuff true. You want me to sign and co-sign? Well, it's just to get you some help. Well, if I gotta lie to get some help, I don't need that kind of help. And so I got to go, and then I seen a couple guards come out from different places. Oh, I see what this is. Now, I still could have left up out of there. I don't think they really understood who I was and what this really represented. But even if I had got out of there, now Long Beach police are now, you know, it's been too much. So I went on the stage. They kept me in there for 3 days involuntarily. And then I had to look to see this room full of smart people. And I told them about what's going on and everything. And one of them even mentioned, but the guy had 2 cell phone chargers. In other words, they was there to see if I was going to attempt suicide. It's kind of logical. If he's going up there to commit suicide, why would he have 2 brand new fully charged cell phone chargers, water, and all this stuff for survival? So they let me go. but I didn't
So
like that.
if you get back to Illinois, what are you going to do?
See my grandchildren, my daughter, my family, my friends, relax. It's snowing back there a little bit, so
What
I'm
what city you from?
Peoria, Illinois.
Peoria, Illinois.
Richard Pryor town.
Yeah, okay. Well, Brian Thomas, it's been a pleasure meeting you. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope that you can resolve this in your favor amicably.
Well, that's up to the American people now. I don't have any power to do much of anything, but I have faith in God, and He's kept me this far, and I believe He'll keep on doing so.
All right. Well, thank you much. Again, this is James Preston Allen with Random Links News, here with the veteran who was on the Vincent Thomas Bridge for a day and a half here in the port of Los Angeles in San Pedro. Checking out, and talk to you all later.